Hey guys, welcome to Dow Jones and EURUSD review. I'm going to go over what happened since 9:15 this morning, and we'll start off right here. The last video I posted, I was looking for setups by sell, and clearly the price action had something else in mind. We ended up pushing through this level and having a nice 30-point jump start to the day to set a new high. We went past this all these levels. I had a target right here that was blasted through. I still have one more target up here. We're still about now almost a little bit like 70 points away, but that's irrelevant right now. We're just focusing on day-to-day trading. We did set this high and we sold from this level, so this is now the resistance for further upside all the way up there. This is another resistance as well. But once we sold here, it wasn't much else to do. I had an open position that I closed out. I usually close out my last runner if and when it gets to 50 points and up, just because I'm still trading smaller amount of contracts. Eventually we did sell down and we were provided a bounce right here at 46.70. I had a dip and recovery set up there. We didn't quite get a failed breakdown of any of these lows, but one could have went with the long here if they wanted to. Maybe the minor level above would have been the entry. As you can see, we had a low right here and another one right here, so you could have kind of gone above, and that target would have been this level before having to reevaluate, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't take that though. In the previous video, I mentioned I was looking for a failed breakdown of this low, and maybe something where that could tag all the way down here and then come back and recover. I did mention you could take a dip in recovery at this level. I didn't want to, just because I mentioned there's a lot of congestion in this area, so I'd rather clear these lows so I'm not trapped trying to get a couple points. However, if you decided to take the dip in recovery here, it worked, and it worked multiple times. You can see right here at 10:130, we dipped a little bit below. We went right back up. We back tested it again before pushing back up and exactly hitting this 46.30 level, 46.63 level. So dip and recovery definitely worked here as well. It was applicable here as well if we got there. So now let's talk about how I was approaching this situation. I had a red line set here, so I knew once we lost it, I'm looking for the recovery above this red line. I had this as a trigger, and the reason I had that as a trigger was because I wanted to clear not only what's it called, this zone, but also at least a couple of points above um, this general area, right? So this trigger aligned exactly with what made sense for me in terms of having a failed breakdown. So again, this dip in recovery was valid. I didn't put DR there, but it's always assumed that you can use a dip in recovery at a major level if you don't have any other structure, aka a clear low to work with. So this did work as a dip in recovery. Then we started making our way up and working on reclaiming this zone. But with this low right here, I'd want to clear that low by at least a couple of points. Lo and behold, we hit the trigger and sold right back down. That's actually great acceptance to me. So moving forward now on Dow Jones, if and when after I change the levels and we can get above, I guess above this wick and above this general area, that will trigger a failed breakdown for me if it hasn't already. If we don't get above there we go up one or two levels and start selling down, the failed breakdown or dip in recovery here at this level will be key. Otherwise, we can make our way down and possibly set up a failed breakdown or a back test of this zone right here. That's what I'm looking at for Dow Jones right now. Going to Euro USD real quick. We left at 9:15 this morning talking about how bullish I was, how this breakout backtest had already had a dip in recovery here, a failed breakdown as well. You can see the low here. Someone told me that there was no low. I don't know what they're talking about. Clearly, you can see we tagged this level exact overnight and bounced, set a low. If you go to a 5-minute chart, you're going to see it even better. You can see You can see the low set right here overnight in the morning as well. You can see the low right here set 2:30 in the morning. Here's a low. We lost it. Try to push above it. This trade worked out. Second entry going back to back test this area. Push back, second entry right here. Gonna go to 15-minute chart again just because I don't need 5 minutes. And essentially, I also messaged someone saying this is a very important inflection point. And the fact that we were seeing so many of these dips belows and recoveries, that around 11 o'clock I mentioned that this could be a chance to enter one more time, honestly. And if not, there might be another chance. And here at 12:30, we were offered that again. Notice how this time we didn't quite get close to it, but we still got close enough for institutions to add. So this is a great accumulation. And now we're seeing the benefits of that. Again, going over what happened here, 2:30, we set a low, direct long, that worked. Later on that morning, we lost that low, triggered a failed breakdown for 6-7 points, that worked. Second entry, usually better after acceptance, how we pushed through, came back down, started pushing back up, perfect acceptance. I'd rather enter a trade like that with patience. That worked up a couple levels. We came back down, had a dip in recovery at 8 o'clock in the morning. A failed breakdown of this low, which is definitely valid, even though we already have one failed breakdown. Nothing wrong with the second one in the same area. In fact, that's amazing. And then one more, a second entry right here, third entry just from these failed breakdowns, and then up we go. So right now, what am I looking for in Euro USD? I'm going to try to close this to 30 minutes a little bit, try to consolidate a little more. Right now we're extended. There's not much to work with. I'd love to see a little back testing of these levels somewhere here. I doubt we can get back there, but I'm open to getting back down in this breakout back test zone. Maybe having a dip in recovery of the area one more time, or even better, losing one of these or all of these lows, maybe tagging one of these levels on the way down before going back up and reclaiming this breakout zone. And that would be an awesome epic long, I think, potentially, with the way Euro USD is looking for me right now. Besides that, you have a low right here to work with, or a low here. But if we start getting back down there, it could be a little dangerous, as we've already broken out from this bull flag and tested it, even set up an amazing failed breakdown right at the bull flag, as mentioned in previous videos.